Hello and welcome to another episode of my channel. This is the Wonderful World of Knitting podcast. I believe this is episode 4. So yes, welcome to any returning viewers and welcome to any new viewers if you've stumbled across my video. This is a knitting podcast all about my knitting adventures and bits and bobs and some life stuff. So my name is Kathleen and we live in the United Kingdom in London, and I'm coming to you on today's Monday, on a Monday. We're in July now. July the 4th, summer months here in London, although in the UK, although the weather is not great really. We only get in total maybe a week's worth of proper sun, of hot weather in the UK. So yeah, it's not much of a summer here. So welcome. I'm not gonna go over the entire thing, the entire introduction. So yes, I'm Kathleen, as I said, and it's the Wonderful World of Knitting podcast. We're gonna jump straight in. But first, if I may say, if you do like the content, if you enjoy my videos, I would appreciate it. I would really like it if you could subscribe and give me the thumbs up. That will help me grow my channel as well. So thank you. So shall we jump straight in? I want to start with a bit of show and tell today. Yes, we're going to have a show and tell section on this podcast. So there we go. Look at this monkey. So this is a toy monkey that I knitted. I was pregnant with my eldest daughter, so that must have been, so this monkey I think is 8 years old now. Probably even longer, even more than 8 years, because my daughter, she is now 7.5 years old. So yes, so this is a knitted toy. I know it looks rubbish, but you know, you do your best. And he's got these clothes on as well. You can take them off, and he's got a tail. So it was fun to knit. Yes. So, but I think at the moment I'm not gonna knit any other cuddly toys. Let me show you the book as well. So this is from the Zoo Animal Friends book. So for any of you who like knitting this kind of things, I would really recommend that one, because it's basically an entire zoo that you can knit. Look, Zoo Animal Friends, and I did this monkey here. The instructions are really good. The basic pattern you can actually use for the same animal. It hardly ever, it doesn't really change apart from maybe a few things that are characteristic to that one animal. So yes, so you've got a kangaroo in here, for example. Yeah, I can't show too much because obviously it's a book. And I believe actually I got this one from my partner as a present, if I remember correctly. And so this is the monkey that I knitted there. I don't want to show too much. So yeah, if you're interested, it was fun to make, and my kids did play with it, so that was good. So that was my quick and easy show and tell section. Today is going to be a short episode, as I haven't got that much content today. So knitting wise, I mean, I'm gonna show you all the progress that I've been making, but knitting wise I've been concentrating on my puff tee, and so I'm making good progress there, and I've got one finished object. So anyway, so there isn't that much content, so it's gonna be a short episode today. So I shall show you my one and only finished object for today. So this is the watch cup hat. Look, I have not even woven in the ends. That is just so typical. And look at this nice pattern. This is a free pattern called the watch cup hat. I shall show you. Yes, free pattern. I would really recommend it. Here, there we go. Watch cup hat. And I'm going to put on the hat for you now to see, to show you. So you can either wear it like this, but that's not that great here. I don't like that. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to roll this up. Is it called the brim of the hat? Roll this up, and then I think it will probably look half decent. So nice warm hat, knitted with the Sirdar Haworth Tweed yarn. Double knitting yarn. So it's a bit of a funny story with this one, with this hat, because basically what happened is, and I think I showed this already in my previous episode. So I cast this on, and I just wanted to do a standard hat pattern. So my standard hat pattern is that I knit ribbing for a couple of inches, and then I just knit stockinette stitch, and then when I get close to the crown, I just decrease. So I'm not really following a pattern as such. But then I actually decided that I want to give an all-over whipped hat a try. I've never knitted an all-over whipped hat like this, because you can see the ribbing continues straight up. So it's basically a 2x2 whip, so you knit 2, you pull 2 all over, all around. And then you do these decreases, you can see them here. Which is a nice look. So now the problem, however, is the size, and this is really funny because how it started. I wanted to knit a hat for my 4-year-old. So I looked at the sizing of the pattern, and I cast on 120 stitches, and according to the pattern, that would give you a baby and toddler hat. Yeah. So she's obviously no longer, she's not a baby, she's a 4-year-old child now, so not even classified as a toddler. So then as I was knitting it, I tried it on her, and it was way too big, way too big. So I tried it on my 7-year-old, I've got 2 children, so I tried that on my 7-year-old. So bearing in mind, once again, this is a baby toddler size hat, the 120 stitches, and I also did a gauge swatch, so I know I was correct on the gauge as well. So then I tried it on my daughter, on my 7-year-old daughter, and it was still way too large. So then I tried it on myself, and it fit. So the plan was to knit a hat for my 4-year-old, but I actually ended up with a hat for myself. However, can you believe it, that actually it is still too big for me, actually? Not lengthwise, but widthwise. So you can see where the problem is here. So this is actually really a great advice and good experience for me. Ribbing is extremely stretchy. So basically a baby size hat is still too big for me, and it's the ribbing. I mean, checking gauge on ribbing is not an exact science, basically. I think what you will have to do is to just knit it and then just try on as you knit. So in terms of the size for me, at the time it fit fine. When I finished knitting it, it fit fine. But then what happened is I accidentally blocked the hat, because I had washed my hair and then I put the hat on. That was a few weeks ago. It was a cold day. I washed my hair, I put the hat on, we had to run out to a shopping center, and so I accidentally blocked the hat, meaning that it actually grew as it got wet through my wet hair. So I think it still fits more, it still fits me, but it's a bit on the loose side, because I want my hats to be, you know, tight and snug. But still, it looks perfect. I'll be able to wear it. So my idea is to also knit 2 more of these exact hats, the watch cup hat, for my youngest and for my eldest. And so I will have to greatly decrease the number of stitches. So obviously this was 120 stitches around. So what I will do is, I will probably start with 80 stitches, cast on 80 stitches, knit, try it on my eldest, and then they will obviously give me it will give me a good idea of how many stitches I would need for my youngest. So if 80 stitches fits my eldest, then I know maybe to do just 60 stitches for my youngest. Because as I said, it is surprising how stretchy webbing is. So yes, that is step one. That's my one a puny finished object. And I'd like to move on to my whips then, shall we? How many whips do I have? Let's count. I have 3 whips to show you. I cannot handle more than 3. I get overwhelmed. So, this is my puff tee. Any long-standing viewers, you've seen the puff tee in the other episodes. I'm housing that in this lovely, nice bag. It can hold a sweater size. It can hold a sweater, but still it's getting a bit small now. So this is my puff tee. I shall show you the yarn once again. That is the Rowan felted tweed. And I shall also show you the pattern. I did show you already in the previous episode, so it's just a repeat. This is the puff tee for any new viewers. And I'm going to show you the whip now. So I finished the body. That's why I haven't got much content, because this actually took quite a long time. There was a lot of knitting in there, surprisingly. I expected this one to fly off the needles, but it didn't. So a lot of knitting in it. So there we go. That's the puff tee. Ta-da! I finished the body. I've added a long 1x1 whip. One by one whip, not whip, and and I did an Italian bind off. This was my first time doing an Italian bind off, and when I've watched videos on YouTube about the Italian bind off, lots of YouTubers said it's worth the effort. It does take effort, the Italian bind off. It is a sewn bind off, and there's like it's between 4 to 5 steps. So the last step is a 2-in-1 step. So let's call it it's a 5-step bind off, and then you just repeat those 5 steps. So you will need a tapestry needle because it's a sewn bind off. So loads said it's worth the effort. It looks great because it looks as if the whipping continues around the corner. So it's like an invisible bind off. And then let me just show you once again. Yeah, so this is how it looks, the Italian bind off. And I mean, it wasn't that bad in the end to do it. I've checked out a few tutorials, learned how to do it. I wrote down the steps so I don't forget. And you know, once you've done it a few times, then you can just do it without looking. But I have to say, I expected more. I mean, of the look of it. I don't actually like it that much. So I think it's probably the last time that I did an Italian bind off. Not to be confused with a tubular bind off. It's actually a different bind off. But yeah, so this is my puff tee. I just have to do the sleeves now. I think what I will be doing is knit the sleeves at the same time. Although you then have to keep turning your work and work with 2 balls of yarn separately. You knit them at the same time. That way you're not stuck on sleeve island. And I find that I don't enjoy knitting sleeves of a garment, especially long sleeves. Yeah, you just want to finish the garment, and also having to knit a second sleeve, it's yeah, don't enjoy it. Socks is better because socks are quick, but sleeves, I don't know, they take time for whatever reason. So I'll be knitting the sleeves 2 at a time, and I will follow the pattern for the sleeves. Because this being the puff tee, it's meant to give you puff sleeves, so a bit of a raised sleeve, meant to give you puff tees. But sadly at the moment I can't see the puff tees, only ever so slightly. Here's that waist bump. And also interestingly enough as well, this garment has a saddle shoulder construction, and I've looked into it. I did a bit of research, and they're actually, apparently, I haven't actually looked myself, I haven't really searched for the saddle sleeve construction. In Ravelry, when you do an advanced search on patterns, you can, under construction, you can like you can select subtle sleeve, I believe. I have not done that, but after doing some research, I heard other knitters say there are not many garments, not many patterns out there with the subtle sleeve. You see, I mean, raglands are more common, the raglan construction. This is a mix between a raglan and a subtle sleeve. It still has raglan construction, but very different, because you first basically knit it all in one piece. You knit the subtle sleeve by increasing stitches rapidly, I believe, if I remember correctly. Sorry. And then you, at the same time, you do the raglan. But you can see straight away, it's not a classic raglan construction. So there are not many subtle sleeve constructions out there, but I really did enjoy it, and I enjoyed the look of the subtle sleeve. I shall show you this again. This here is the sleeve top. And I think it'll look nice. It is quite, at the moment the yarn feels stretchy, but I know it will relax after washing. It will get softer. However, now regards to body, I modified the pattern when knitting the body, if I just stand up. So I actually added some decreases here, because I wanted a bit of a waist shaping. But I think I may have overdone it with the waist shaping, with the decreases. Because when I tried it on, it still fits, but I don't really like the look of it. In the pattern, there's no waist shaping there. They just sit knit straight down. So I didn't do that. I added decreases. And I mean, it's variable, but I think next time I will just stick to the pattern. And because there was another garment I knitted where I also went off and added waist shaping, and I didn't like the look of it. I don't know why. Possibly because I'm busty, so it just makes your bust look bigger when you then have waist shaping. Unless it's really form and tight fitting, then it looks good. But if it's still a mix between being baggy around the waist but also like getting tighter, it's not a nice look. So I think next time I know not to add waist shaping unless it is actually intended to be a fitted garment. So yes, hopefully in the next, well, no, I don't think in the next episode I can show you this as a finished object. I'm actually planning to finish one of the socks that I'm knitting, and I'm planning to do that one when we're on holiday. We're going on holiday soon. And I don't think I'll be bringing this to Turkey, because Turkey in July, you can imagine, it will be very hot. So I don't want to knit with, what's the content here? Hang on. I do not want to knit with a wool and alpaca yarn in Turkey. Oh gosh. So I think this has to wait. So I won't be able to show you this as a finished garment yet, but I do want to finish it soon. So that's my first whip. So now the socks that I mentioned. This is my Twin Flowers socks. And I'm just going to show you the progress I've made on them, because I did show them already in my previous episode. So if you're interested in getting more details, please go back to another episode. I show more in episode 3, I believe. I will show you the pattern. And I talk about it more. So this is just an update. So here the sock is poking out of my sock needle holder, and you can see the pattern emerge. Let me take it out and I shall show you. So I'm knitting these on my flexible double points, and I'm just going to stretch it out for you. This is what I have so far. I'm making progress slowly. And so my aim is to bring this one to Turkey with me. That'll be easy for me to work on the plane, I'm hoping. But then I have to be careful with these needles. Actually, I don't think I can bring these needles on the plane, because these are the higher sharp needles, and they are sharp. They are like knives. When I knit with them, I really have to be careful not to poke myself. So I can't bring them on the plane. They will take them away, thinking I'm planning something. So anyway, let me show you. Ta-da! This is so gorgeous, this color. I love mustard color. I haven't actually knitted. I have knitted one mustard color garment, a cardigan, a petite knit cardigan that I will show you in the upcoming episodes as well. I do love the mustard color, so I will definitely knit more mustard color garments. So yeah, look at that. Gorgeous! Look at this pattern emerging now. It goes all around. I love it. This is a twisted 1x1 whip. So when you do a twisted whip, the knit stitches are more prominent than a normal 1x1 whip. So yes, I'm hoping to have one of these socks finished when we come back from our holiday. I'm just putting them away now, so I'm not poking myself with these sharp needles. Oh, so that's that one. I mean, as I said, it's a quick episode today. And then on to the last whip, the third whip. I shall show you the garments straight away. I have this all in the same bag. I shall show you my third whip. So even though I was knitting on the puff tee, I couldn't help myself and cast on the Brise, to cast on the Brise t-shirt. So this is a summer garment. This is what I have so far. So hang on, sorry. So this is a summer top. Oh, it's not much. Yeah, I haven't got much to show. However, I have finished the whipping. Let me show you what I have finished so far. I have finished the whipping. I have finished the German short rows. German short rows, they waist the back so that the neckline here sits lower. And so this is a yoke, a round sweater, a yoked sweater, where you've got patterning around the yoke. Short sleeves, I mean you can also choose to do long sleeves. The pattern actually gives you two options to either knit a summer shirt with short sleeves or a long, more winter garment with long sleeves. It gives instructions for both. And look at this, look at this pattern. Look at this beautiful detail here. And this is only the beginning of the yoke. So the yoke increases, the yoke includes cables, lace, and the popcorn stitch as well, bobbles. Let me show you the pattern. Yes, I really fell in love with this pattern, and I knew I wanted to knit this one. I saw it first on the Knitting Traditions podcast. Inga, I think she had knitted it last year, 2021, and I've put this one in my favorites straight away, and I knew I want to knit this one. So as I said, it's only the beginning. Knit it in the round, which is my favorite way to knit anyway. And let me show you the yarn as well. Again, I did a bit of a copycat there. I'm using exactly the same yarn as Inga because I was looking for a summer yarn anyway. All the yarns I have in my stash is more or less just wool, and I have only once knitted with 100% cotton before, a few years ago, and I knitted some dishcloths, and 100% cotton for dishcloths is awesome. It's an awesome fiber. You cannot use wool for dishcloths. So I have worked with cotton before, but I don't think I've ever worked with a cotton and linen yarn. I've never worked with a cotton and linen yarn. So I knew this year I wanted to knit some summer garments, and summer garments you're better off knitting with cotton and linen because it's airy, it's light, and it doesn't feel as warm as wool. So yeah, I was after a cotton and linen yarn anyway, and then when I saw Inga use the yarn, I thought, let me give it a try. So it's the Sandnes Garn Line. Yeah, and it's a purple color, but I have to say, when the yarn arrived, I was not impressed. To me, felt like it's not suitable for a beautiful lace garment because it feels really rough, and it looked to me as if you could just knit some kitchen household items and not a garment. However, then so I decided, I was actually contemplating to not use the yarn at all and go for some wool yarn. But then I thought, wait a minute, if others have knitted this in that yarn, then maybe there's a reason why they done that. So I thought, let me give it a try and maybe it will come out nice. And I'm actually surprising myself how nice it is coming out. So yeah, I don't like the look of the yarn itself, but the fabric, the product, what it creates is actually really nice, considering that this will be for the summer. And I cannot wait to have it finished. It is so airy, it is so light, it's beautiful. Good thing is as well that this is a worsted weight yarn, an Aran weight yarn, so it'll go quick. So yeah, that's my Brise, and I cannot wait to have it finished. And I want to show you the pattern so you get an idea of the wonderful, of the beautiful yoke. I'm going to show you this page first. There we are, Brise. And this front picture here, dark yarn, you can't see the yoke. However, there's another picture here where you can see the beautiful yoke pattern. As I said, it's lace, cables, and bubbles. Bubbles? Yeah. There, let's have a look at that picture. There we are. I'm not sure if you can see it. No, I think it's not coming out. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, looking at the other projects on Ravelry, the other knitters, what they're doing with this pattern, it looks really, really lovely. And in my opinion, this dark yarn is not giving it justice, because then you can't see the pattern, in my opinion. So that's that. So yes, these are my whips and my one finished object. And what I want to talk to you, let's do, yes, I want to talk about this garment real quick as well. I found this on, well, I know of the designer. I had seen the designer before many times, and I like her garments. And then I saw it on Instagram as well, and I immediately followed the hashtag, and now I get all these pictures, because obviously when you follow the hashtag you get the pictures. And so anyway, without further ado, let me show you. This is what I would like to knit next. This is the Forest Berry Jacket by Fabled Knitwear, and look at this. I mean, she is a beautiful lady, and it's a beautiful garment. I think, let me find out. I think it might be a 1960s, 1940s inspired garment. Yes, it's very feminine looking. Very, very feminine looking. I don't want to show you the pattern as it is a paid for pattern, but yes, it is gorgeous. So I've purchased the pattern immediately, and I will definitely knit it. I just have to find the time. And I definitely want to also do the same kind of color as well, like a cream color, not white but cream. And I actually have some nice yarn in stash for that already. Let me show you that. I have the Isaiah Spinny. Oh, and look at this lovely, lovely cream, kind of wheat color. It's stunning. It's not an all-over color. It has some whites and cream in it, but also some very like light brown. So there are different kind of colors coming out in it. It's not a 3D yarn or a variegated yarn, but it's not a one all-over color. That's what I'm trying to say. So I can hold this double, and I'm hoping then to get gauge with it, obviously depending on what needle size I use. Gauge would be 21 stitches per 10 centimeters. So yes, hold this double. This gives me 600 meters. If I hold it double, I may not have enough, but if I don't, I can always order more. I've had this in my stash, so yes, I've got 2 hanks. So yeah. So yes, that's what I will be knitting next. Another one that I have my eyes on is the So Summer shirt by Jessie Maid. And I have the yarn for that as well, the yarn that I want to use. So this kind of links in now with the acquisition part because, ta-da! I actually have some acquisitions today. And I said in my previous episodes that I'm on a ban and I will not be buying any more yarn, and I've been good with that. I'm not buying any more yarn. But this was an exception to that, because this yarn is actually coming from Germany, and I'm from Germany originally, but I've lived in the UK for 16 years, long time. So my family is over in Germany, and so this is a German yarn. And they don't deliver to the United Kingdom. So I've had my eye on this yarn for a long time. Sorry about the noise now, I'm unpacking. I've had my eyes on this yarn for a long time. And I found out they don't deliver into the UK. But then obviously since my parents are in Germany, I had it sent to my parents. And then there I was sitting for some time and hoping for my parents to come and visit me soon. But then, because they had other plans, they couldn't come. They hopefully will come in August. But anyway, I don't want to bore you too much with the details again. I'm waffling on today, sorry. It's only meant to be a short episode. So anyway, I had the yarn sent to Germany. They sent it to me, and let me show you what it is. Because then, I want to knit the So Summer shirt by Jessie Maid with this beautiful, gorgeous collar. This is a high twist merino yarn, and if you are interested in these gorgeous yarns, they are called Schwedenrot yarns, hand dyed in Germany. Schwedenrot yarns. And I'm not sure if the camera is picking up the color, but it is a purple blue color. I don't usually go for blue in such a strong color, but there's just something that really attracts me to it, because it's a dark purple. It comes up lighter as in real life, but it's a dark purple, and also it has some color variations in it as well. So I want to knit the So Summer shirt with this yarn. I've got 2 fingering weight yarn, so that will be enough. So that's basically the acquisitions. So that's that one. And then, so as I was on their website, of course you can't just buy one color. You have to buy more than that, right? So then I've decided to go for this one. This one is called Purple Rain. So, I do want to make sure that I'm giving you the correct details in case anyone is interested. So this purple one is called High Twist Merino Pure, and the colorway is called Ipe. Yeah. And this one is the luxury sock base, which is superwash merino and nylon, and is Purple Rain. And I love this crazy color. Maybe not for a garment that you wear outside, as I'm not 16 anymore, but I could make some nice socks or even an undergarment. Maybe the Whipple Bralette by Jessie Maid. I do want to knit the Whipple Bralette, so this can serve me as an undergarment. And then another one. This is also, as I said, is all Schwedenrot yarns. This is their merino linen base, and this is 90% superwash merino and 10% linen. And I've bought 3 of those. And I fell in love with this color. Oh, sorry, 3. There we go, 3. Yeah. I do not know what I'm going to knit with that one, but we shall see. And then the last one is this color, which I like so much as well. I've got 2 of those. This one is also their luxury sock base, and the colorway is called Rusty. So there we go. So after this yarn purchase, I know I will not be purchasing any more yarn. So yes, for this year anyway. So yes, that's that. So yes, so I've talked to you about my finished object, my whips, what I want to knit next. I do want to knit that pie shawl as well. That's still on my radar, but I haven't started on that yet. As I said, I do get overwhelmed. I mean, I do want to cast on all the patterns, but yes, I'm time limited. And then what else? Yes, I think that is it for now. Just a quick update, live stuff on my, on my and my family's life, if anybody's interested. So as I have 2 children, my youngest is 4 and she will start school in September. She starts reception, so that is very interesting. So that is very exciting. Not interesting. It is very exciting for us. So then we'll have two that will be that go to school together, which is good. And then yes, so as I said, we're going on holiday soon. Very excited, and yeah, just life is generally busy. Yeah, so I don't think I've missed anything out. As I said, I just wanted to do a quick episode today. I was kind of thinking that I can talk about some audiobooks as well that I'm listening to. Not sure if you guys are interested in hearing that, but let me know in the comments anyway. But I'm going to tell you anyway what I'm listening to currently. So there's two audiobooks or podcasts that I'm listening to at the moment. One is actually knitting related. They're called Audiobooks, so you can find them. I have it under, oh gosh, what's it called? I think it's called Audible. I listen to Audiobooks on Audible, but you can also, I think, get it on other podcast channels as well. So they're called Audiobooks, and it's 2 ladies talking about their knitting projects. I really enjoy listening to them. Also, there are loads of YouTube podcasters that I listen to. I shall probably mention a few in the next episode. That will be good. And then another audiobook that I'm listening to, it's called Deep Descent. So this is a book about the wreck, the Andrea Doria wreck. So I have two passions in my life: knitting and scuba diving. So before I had my kids, I did scuba diving, and I went up to my rescue diver course. But then of course I had my children, and I haven't gone back, only once. But my eldest, she was quite young then, and I went, and I couldn't concentrate on the dive because I had my daughter in my mind. I was away from my daughter, so I basically decided not to dive until my children are more or less grown up or much older and more independent. But anyway, so that's one of my passions as well: the sea, the ocean, and diving. So this book, as I said, is about the Andrea Doria wreck, and it lays off an island called Nantucket Island, Massachusetts, which is, I think, the east coast of the United States. It's called the Andrea Doria. It sank in 1956. It's a cruise ship, an ocean liner, and the reason why I'm really interested is well, obviously I'm interested in diving, in cave diving and wreck diving, but it's actually not just that people have died, obviously, when the ship sank, but this ship is still claiming lives now, divers that lose their lives diving the wreck. So this is actually, this particular wreck is actually called the Mount Everest of wreck diving, because it is so challenging to dive this wreck. It lays in about 70 meters, 70 meter deep waters. 70 meters doesn't actually sound much. However, when you're down there in the Atlantic, it's deep. You have very low visibility. The water is very cold. You have to wear a dry suit. Very cold, low visibility. There are currents down there, and there are many dangers when you dive a wreck, when you actually penetrate a wreck. You can get entangled in cables and lines that hang down, and you run out of air, you lose your orientation, you cannot find your way out. So it's obviously sad to read that people have lost their lives, but it interests me because I love diving, I love wrecks, and I love the ocean. I did actually dive a couple of wrecks in Egypt, but I didn't penetrate the wreck, as I'm not wreck qualified. I didn't do my wreck specialty, so I didn't penetrate the wreck that I dived. I only looked at them from the outside, and it was really amazing. So yeah, that's the book I'm listening to on Audible, Deep Descent, about the wreck of the Andrea Doria, the Mount Everest of wreck diving. It's awesome, really, and very interesting. In a few years, I don't know how many, maybe, I'm just throwing a number out, maybe in 50 years this wreck will be undiveable, because it's obviously with time it's breaking down. And when it was early days after the sinking, many divers had actually gone down to search for China and to bring back as a trophy, and they could just do that. So many dive sites and wrecks have restrictions on them, and you can't take anything out because it's of value, and you can't just take stuff. But this particular wreck, your divers are actually allowed to search the wreck for China, and so that's why many have, because then they lose sight of what's important. Safety comes first when you do diving, and 70 meters deep water, you can't go down there anymore as a normal. So there's two types, well, there's several types of diving. But sorry, I'm going on about diving now. If that doesn't interest any one of you that are knitters, obviously, then just please switch off. But anyway, there's several types of diving, and it starts with scuba diving, which is just a shallow diving, and it goes to 40 meters maximum. Anything below 40 meters is considered technical diving. So because this wreck lays in 70 meters, it is technical diving, and if you just on a compressed air tank, you will run into problems, so many problems: decompression sickness, and decompression sickness, running out of air, oxygen toxicity, many challenges. Anyway, so that's what I'm listening to. I think I'm gonna have to draw it to a close now. I hope I haven't waffled on too much today, but anyway, so I hope everyone is, I'm going to stop now. I hope everyone is well, and you're enjoying the summer, or maybe even the winter, depending on where you are. And so happy knitting. You can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry. And as I said, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe. That would be awesome. And I shall see you in my next episode. Bye, everyone.